So in 1957, Ford came up with a new idea, and it wasn't particularly new because they had had a vehicle called Utes in Australia for, well, right for the 20s and 30s. But basically, it was a car with the back end of a pickup truck. And I mean, it was supposed to fulfill a couple of needs. The idea was to have the comforts of a car with the usefulness of a pickup truck. They basically took a standard 57 Ford, cut the back end off, put a very low pickup box on the back of it, did some very nice styling on them, and called it the Ranchero. A couple of years later, General Motors came out with its own version of the Ranchero called the El Camino. It was the same basic concept. It was a 1959 Chevrolet that had the back end removed and turned into a pickup truck box. It was a pretty sexy looking car, and it has vied in popularity with the Ranchero for many, many years. You know, it's certainly created two camps of thinking. You know, there's the Ranchero guys, the El Camino guys. But, you know, from a styling perspective, I am late to the party, but I'm starting to think that the El Camino is a little bit prettier than the Ranchero.
Hi, I'm Dan Ayers from the Guild. I do the upholstery here. I've been working on the seats for this El Camino. When the car first came in, I looked at the seats. They were kind of messed up, so when I took the seats apart, I realized that mice have been eating the seats. Now we have re-webbed the seat. I put new burlap on. Then we put new padding on. And then I've got the seats all cut out and sewn. Taking them apart was a bit of a mess because they were done by somebody else. They weren't manufactured, so we didn't really have a pattern, so I pretty much had to make a new pattern for the seats. And we've been going through the process. Eventually we had to get this El Camino embroidered into the back of the seat. We ran into a couple problems because the old pattern wasn't right because it didn't fit the seat properly, so I had to readjust it so it all fit the actual frame on the seat. So once it's all together, it'll be all nice and uniform and look like a new seat. So my next step in the process, I have the embroidery's done, the panels sewn in, so now I have to sew the side panels on and then test fit the seat and see how it fits the frame. And if it's all fine, I'll double sew it and put the seat on. It'll be finished. So the design I put in the seats looks kind of up to date compared to what the old cover was. And I'm happy with the way it all came out. The embroidery is great. Once I put the seats together and put them back in the car, I hope he enjoys the car for many years to come.